And welcome back to FMSN. We're going to announce the starting lineups. Starting with Southlake Carroll's offense. At left tackle, number 54, Carson Green. At left guard, number 55, Matt Lehan. At center, number 64, Ryan Miller. At right guard, number 78, Henry Klinge. At right tackle, number 72, Jackson Kimball. At quarterback, number 13, Mason Holmes. At running back, Audric Gaines. At receiver, number 3, Clayton Keys. And number 5, Royce Weagle. Number 11, Jackson Davis. And number 7, Cade Bell. The Dragons are coached by Hal Lawson and are currently 2-1 on the year.
Now for your home Flower Mound Jaguars tonight, we have starting at left tackle, we have Cade Cowan, number 64. Number 56 at left guard, we have Josh Shapley. Center tonight, number 52, Cade Cumby. Right guard, number 73, David McHale. Right tackle, we have number 74, Ryan Lenheiser. At quarterback, we have number 4, Jackson Averett. Running back, we have number 32, Ifeanyi Uzuihe. And at receivers, tonight we have number 3, William Huber. We have number 14, Jack Miller. Number 6, Billy Sikora. And number 8, Zach Welch.
And the captains are taking the coin toss. Jaguars are captained by number 72, Eric Curl. Number 41, Brandon Bascue. Number 44, Connor Lee. And number 32, Ifeanyi Uzuihe.
And your Jaguars are coached by Brian Basil. And once again, this is his first year at the high school. And looking to make a statement tonight, opening district, and hoping for a good win tonight.
The Jags are coming off their bye week after a tough, heartbreaking loss to Timber Creek, 38-30. And this could be a good matchup, as Southlake is 2-1 on the year, but the games have been close. They're not as a perennial powerhouse as they've been in the past.
Yeah, Ryan, it'll be interesting tonight, seeing how Southlake is a very competitive and a well-coached team with a lot of talent. So it'll be good to see what our boys have tonight and to see how they respond to the challenge. So we're excited to see.
And captains are going. And Flower Mound elects to receive on the opening kickoff.
We'll hope to start off with a good opening drive here. Hopefully start off with a good return, and we'll see what kind of field position we can start off with. But hopefully we can see where Jackson will take us, and hoping for a bold statement this first drive.
And we're about a minute and a half away from kickoff, and we will take a quick break for the national anthem. You're listening to FMSN.
And the Jags are coming through the tunnel right now, and a lot of excitement here. Ready to see what kind of energy our boys have tonight, and looking for a good game right here.
The Jags are mixing it up tonight, wearing their home blue jerseys with the white shoulders, or the silver shoulders rather, and then the silver pants with the blue streak down the side.
I love the uniforms they have this year. I know we shook it up a little bit with the new combination that Coach Basil brought this year, and exciting to see how the boys are looking. So,
and Southlake Carroll is in their away whites with green lettering, and their traditional white helmet with the green dragon on it.
Excited tonight. Looks like we have a full house, and we have the last couple of people coming in and filling up the section right now. But it's a lot of energy coming from the crowd. Student section looking to get hype and ready for the rowdy crowd to really make some noise and bring this team together. So it'll be good.
And now the moment everyone's been waiting for, the national anthem for Flower Mound, as done by the Flower Mound Jaguar Band.
And taking the flag outs right now, we have the Flower Mound JROTC.
And we will be right back here on FMSN.
And we are back after a lovely performance by our very own Flower Mound Choir performing the national anthem.
It's always a treat to hear the Flower Mound Choir sing.
Always, always excited to have not only our football program but also organizations showing up to the games and representing our Flower Mound High School Jaguars.
It looks like we have a full house on the home side. Southlake fans are still trickling in on their side, but it looks like it's going to be a good game in Texas high school football.
And we're getting ready for the Jags to really drop the hammer tonight. So it'll be the Jaguars starting off with the opening kickoff here. We will be receiving, and Southlake Carroll will be kicking off.
And Sterling Deary and Ryan Johnson are going to be the ones taking it back for the Jaguars. Sorry about that.
Exciting to see what these two have for us. I know they bring a lot of energy, and we'll be looking for an exciting start to the game right here. So we'll see what our boys have in store.
And again, the Jaguars are mixing it up a little bit tonight, wearing their home blue jerseys with the silver shoulders and the silver pants with the blue streak, blue socks, and their chrome blue helmets.
And we're just now getting lined up for kickoff, waiting for number 88 of the Southlake Carroll Dragons, Cole Ramage, to kick us off and get things started. And here we are. And the ball sails to the back of the end zone for a touchback, starting our Jags off at the 20 here.
And I'm excited to see what the Jags have in store. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game after losing to Timber Creek 2 weeks ago. They've had just coming off their bye week. Seeing what Coach Basil has in store for us tonight.
It'll be interesting to see what Coach Basil has really instilled onto his players this week, knowing that we had a full week to get over last week's loss against Kelley Timber Creek, and we will be ready to see what they have tonight for us.
And the Jags take the field, ready to start the drive for the game tonight.
Excited to see what junior quarterback Jackson Haverett has for us tonight. And we have Cade Cumbie under center here to get things started. Jackson with the snap. It's a toss over to number 16 for the Jaguars. Correction, that is actually number 18, Jake Welch, with the wide receiver sweep for a rush of 5 yards, and it is 2nd and 5 for the Jaguars on the 30-yard line. So 2nd down and 5 here. We'll see what we have, and it's a handoff to number 32, Afani Uzuihe, and he looks to be stopped at the line of scrimmage here. So no game, and we will be down to 3rd and 5 here, still on the 30-yard line.
You know, it's crucial to win third down. Third downs, if you win third downs, most of the time you will win the game. Third down conversions are priceless.
Exactly, Ryan. Third downs are make or break here. They're able to carry the momentum for the rest of the drive. But if you can keep converting third downs, you can keep driving down on the field and hopefully bring up some points on the board. So Avery with the snap. It is a pass that falls incomplete, intended for number 6, William Sikora. And the Jags go 3 and out on their first drive. With number 36, Josh Grant, at punter tonight. We're hoping for some good field position here and pushing the Dragons back into their own territory.
And returning for the Dragons out there is number 24. Number 24, R.J. Mickens, who is a freshman.
And the punt is off by Josh Grant, and it is fair caught at the 35-yard line. So the Southlake Carroll Dragons will start off at their own 35 with the fair catch by R.J. Mickens. So it'll be interesting to see here what how this Jaguar defense is going to respond here after the first 3 and out. But we're looking for a bold statement here, hoping to really bring some smash mouth football into play here.
And the Jags are led by junior linebacker number 44, Connor Lee, who's been leading the team in tackles, as Southlake opens up with a pass, and it stops short of the first down, about a 9-yard gain.
We're looking for the defense to really just get in and make a stop here. So we'll have to see how the offense responds here after the first play. And it is a handoff to number 15 for the Dragons, Audric Gaines.
And he runs for the first down easily, getting about to the Jaguar 47, it looks like.
Now we're going to have to work on some outside containment here, making sure that we're able to keep anything from getting outside and getting some open field. And it's a toss, a wide receiver screen here to number 7 for the Dragons. That is Hudson Shrum. And he is the junior receiver for the Southlake Carroll Dragons for a gain of 7 yards. So it is 2nd and 3 on the Jags 40-yard line right now. We have 2nd and 3. It's a handoff to the running back, number 15, Audric Gaines. And he picks up the first down for the Southlake Carroll Dragons.
Putting the ball right on the 30-yard line. And just a couple missed tackles, just making the Jaguar defense miss.
The Dragons have a lot of momentum here, so we need something from the Flower Mound Jaguar defense here to try to put an end to the momentum and get things back in their favor right here. And there's another handoff to number 15, Gaines again, and he rushes for the first down.
Looks like he gets down all the way to the 14 of the Jaguars' red zone.
The offensive line for the Dragons tonight is really making some holes for the running back, so we're really going to have to see our D-line step up here and contend here. And it's another handoff to Gaines, about 9 yards on the carry here, and the Dragons are down into the red zone here, right about the 6-yard line. So far we've seen a lot of runs up the middle here, just really attacking the D-line of the Jaguars right now. It's another handoff to Gaines, 15, and he is in for the score. That's a 6-yard touchdown run for 15, Audric Gaines. And Gaines is the senior running back for the Dragons this year.
And on that, the Jaguar defense was just getting pushed around by the Dragon offensive line. That just the holes were huge. Could have driven a truck through those.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Ryan. We gotta really just find a way to fill up those holes and keep them from trying to get anywhere outside or getting inside. We have to really build a wall right there.
And Cole Ramage's PAT is good, and the Dragons strike first, and it is now 7-0 with 8:31 left in the first quarter.
And the Jaguars will try to rebound here, regroup, and receive the kickoff from the Dragons here. But it'll be up to the offense to find a way to rebound off of that score by the Dragons.
Now, the name of the game is making adjustments on the fly. The team that can make adjustments the fastest and most effectively tends to come out on top. I think the Jags are just a little rough. They have to get a little bit of the rust off since they're coming off the bye week.
And it's all right. There's still plenty of game left. We have about 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Plenty of time to make adjustments, so nothing to worry about at this point. And we have Cole Ramage off to kick it off again for the Southlake Carroll Dragons. And we have Ryan Johnson and Sterling Deary back to receive for the Jaguars.
And last time, Ramage kicked it all the way out of the end zone. The Jaguars started on the touchback and only gained 5 yards on one play, and it was a receiver rushing play. Just a little shuttle pass to our slot back.
And now that the Jaguars have been on both sides of the ball, we'll see what kind of adjustments they make here, knowing that they're going to have to be a little more aggressive here with their play calling, and we'll see how they rebound here. And Ramage with the kick, and it is deep. heading to the back of the end zone for another touchback. That sails out of the back.
About the same exact spot as he kicked last time. It's really good placement. Let's see what the Jags can do on this second drive in this first quarter. 8:31 left to play in the first quarter.
And the offense will be starting at the 25 in Jags' own territory. So we'll see what kind of offensive plays we'll have here this drive.
Last time the Jaguars were really run heavy, attempting at one pass, and that just ended up being a 3rd and 5, and it was incomplete.
As the Jaguars are lined up in trips to the left right here. Avery with the snap. It's a fake handoff. Pass to William Sikora. And that is a gain of around 7 yards for the Jaguars. So that's a good way to start off this drive. And it will be 2nd and 3 for the Jags at the 32-yard line. And Avery with the snap. It's a handoff to... Oh, it's a fake. It's a QB draw here. So Avery with the carry. It is...
Looks like he's good enough for the first down.
Little confusion down there. It looked like the Dragons were trying to make a claim that he fumbled it, but he was down on the ground, and that is a 3-yard rush for Jackson Avery, and that is good for a Flower Mound first down here. So got the chains moving and looking to keep the momentum going here. And it is a pass to caught by number 14, Jack Miller. It was bobbled at the line, but he was able to bring it in, and it looks to be a loss of 1 yard here. So it'll be 2nd and 11 here at the Jaguar 34.
Jaguars are really trying to open up the quick game, it looks like, trying to catch the Southlake defense off guard.
A lot of bubbles we've seen here so far, Ryan. It's like you were saying, it looks like Coach Basil is trying to work a quick gameplay here and seeing how the Dragon defense will respond.
And what that's going to do is going to open up the deep game later on in the game, as the Jaguars try to go deep to
number 8. That is Zach Welch, but the pass is incomplete, and it will be 3rd and 11 for the Jaguars. So we'll see what play Coach Basil has for his offense here. Big third down here, right here, Ryan. If we're able to convert, this could really keep us going, and hopefully we can keep driving down the field to at least get some points here. But I think our biggest thing is trying to keep this Dragons offense off of the field as long as we can.
That's right, and it comes down to converting on these third downs. And as we have a 3rd and 11 right now.
And it is a fake handoff. Avery in the pocket. He throws, and that is an intercepted pass by number 20 for the Southlake Dragons. That is Barrett Buck, the senior defensive back for the Southlake Carroll Dragons. As Avery was being pressured in the pocket and ended up throwing an interception, and the Dragons will now be on their own 49-yard line with the first down here.
And the Jaguar defense comes back out with the ball on the Southlake Carroll's 49.
And once again, as we were mentioning earlier before the game started, the biggest thing we're going to have here tonight is just making sure that our offensive line can give Jackson Avery enough time to really wait for his receivers to get open in the downfield. And we have a pass that is just over the head of number 11 for Southlake, and that is Jackson Davis, senior wide receiver. And it will be 2nd and 10 for the Dragons, still on the 49-yard line. I think our secondary is really going to be tested tonight. So we'll have to see how they're able to adjust the speed. And it is a handoff to number 15, Gaines, and he is wrapped up by Connor Lee. And that's the type of aggressive defense we need right there. We need some guys who aren't afraid to get up and get physical. We need to really, as we like to say here at Flower Mound, drop the hammer. And it was going to be 3rd down and 8 for the Southlake Carroll Dragons. We're Loving it. The student section is getting into it right now. Everyone with their threes up, trying to hold them right here on third down. And correction, it is third down and 9 for the Dragons. And pressure, and there is a sack for the Flower Mound Jaguars. There we go, number 33, and that is Grant Outram for your very own Flower Mound Jaguars. And it is 3 and out for the Southlake Carroll Dragons. Now that's the type of defense third down and 9 for the Dragons. This game right here. Pressure, and there is a sack for the Flower Mound Jaguars. There we go, number 33, and that is number 28 for the Jaguars. We have Sterling Deary back to receive the punt.
You know, the Dragons came out in an empty set, which just leaves the quarterback by himself. There's no protection. It's one-on-one, and it's great by the Jaguar defense to convert that third down.
Exactly. And the punt is received by Sterling Deary. It was a boomer back to the 5-yard line, so the Jaguars are pinned deep in their own territory, and really looking to try to get something going here on offense after going 2 series without being able to come out with some points. So we're hoping for a turnaround here, but definitely something to look forward to is that defense really making a stand right there. So if we can keep shutting down that Southlake offense, I feel like we do have a really good shot of competing tonight.
Now right here, the Jaguars are backed up in their own end zone. This is a crucial time, and we're coming out in an empty set, trying to get the ball out of our end zone.
And we have number 32, Afani Uzuihe, in motion, and it is a handoff to him, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. So the Jags will be at 2nd and 10, still in the 5-yard line. So we'll see if we'll go back to any of these little bubble routes that Coach Basil has been trying to draw up early in this game, or we'll see if we keep trying to pound it on the running game here. And Averett is getting the call, and he's informing his line right now. Looks like an audible on the field right now. And Averett with the snap. And it is a pass just out of the reach of number 14, Jack Miller. And now we will be faced with 3rd and 10 on the 5-yard line here. So once again, another big third down play. We'll see if our Jags can find a way to move the chains here. Got to find some way to get some momentum going here, but
you know, the thing is when you are not converting on third down, you're wearing your defense out. Your defense is having to go in, get out, go in, go out, and it's just wearing our defense down. So we need to convert this third down. It's about 3rd down and 10.
That's exactly right there. You have to keep moving the chain so you can get your defense some rest. And it is a pass that is caught at the 21-yard line by number 8. That is Zach Welch with the 11-yard catch, and that is good for a Flower Mound first down. That is exactly what we were talking about right there. That's exactly the response we need. Give your defense a little more time, and so they can rest up and get ready for the next drive. If we're able to keep the defense off the field as long as we can, I feel we'll be in good shape for the game tonight. And Averett with the snap. It's a handoff to Afani. He finds a hole up the middle, and that is good for a first down. That's an 11-yard run by Afani Uzuihe. Really finding some room up the middle. I like the O-line creating some gaps for him to plow through.
It was a good run by him. The offensive line really opened that up for him.
And the Jags are now at the 26-yard line, building some momentum here. So this is exactly what we like to see. And the snap here. It's a pass play. Looks to be almost tipped at the line. And there's a penalty on the field. And we'll have to see what the call is by the officials here. But there looked to be some contact before this pass was made here. So we'll wait and see what the officials have for us here.
It looks like the referees are pointing towards Southlake.
Looking to possibly be a holding or a pass interference out in the secondary here. And it is a pass interference on the Dragons, and that is good for a Flower Mound first down.
And that's an automatic first down for the Jaguars. And that keeps moving the chains.
The ball is now at the 36 for the Jaguars, and penalties could be playing a big part in this game. Whichever team can minimize the penalties, this could play to their advantage here. And Avery with the snap, pump fakes, and he has a rocket up there to 18, and it is just short, intended for Jake Welch of the Flower Mound Jaguars.
That's a very long throw for any level. It's a difficult throw. The ball just did not make it to the receiver. The receiver had to bring it back to make an attempt at a catch.
Right, those long routes between the quarterback and the receiver, you just have to have some chemistry there. And unfortunately, with the long pass there, it was just a little bit short for Jake, and he wasn't able to adjust to it. And Avery again with the snap, and he makes it is a
It's ruled incomplete.
incomplete pass.
They're saying he stepped out of bounds, but there's also a flag.
And it's looking to be holding against the Jaguars here. And once again, penalties here can be crucial. We have to make sure that we're able to minimize the amount of penalties that we do have tonight.
And that takes the Jags all the way back to the 26.
And it is going to be 2nd and 20 here for the Jags. So we will see what Coach Basil has here for his offense.
3:30 left in this first quarter. Jags are still trailing 7-0 on this crucial 2nd and long.
And Uzuiha in motion. It is a quick pass to him, and he is met right away by number 17 for the Dragons. That is Eric Spittler, and he is the senior linebacker for the Southlake Carroll Dragons this year. Afani was met right at the line, and it looked to be a missed block by a receiver. So we'll have to really make sure that the receivers are on top of their blocks and giving these quick little bubble screens some time to build and open up some ground. And it is a handoff to Afani.
He gets right back to the line of scrimmage. And so the Jaguars will be forced to punt on their own 20-yard line.
And back to receive for the Southlake Dragons is number 24, R.J. Mickens. Josh Grant kicking for the Jaguars. We'll see if he can try to pin them back in their own territory.
It was a 9-play drive by the Jaguars. Gave the defense a little bit of a break.
And there's a penalty thrown on the field as it looks to be roughing the kicker here. Josh Grant's kick went right around the 50-yard line, but there is a penalty for roughing the kicker on the Dragons, and it looks like the Flowerman offense is going to be back on the field here, so gives the defense even more time to rest up. So this is looking good now.
It's very fortunate for the Jaguars as they were facing a 3rd down and 25 it was, and now they get the ball back with a fresh set of downs.
And it is a first down for the Jaguars, so
we'll start the ball at their own 35.
Penalties is really going to define how this game ends up coming to an end tonight. If this Dragon defense keeps making penalties, then the Jaguars are going to find a way to have to capitalize off of these mistakes. That's what we're going to have to do if we really want to make them pay.
Exactly. And we need to get these conversions down as Jackson Averett rolls out for a pass. Manages to find...
That is Jake Welch, number 18, with the catch, and that is right around the first down. Let's see if they rule it.
It's going to be...
That is a first down for the Jaguars. So a 10-yard reception for number 18, Jake Welch. Pardon me. And that is good for another Flower Mound first down. The ball is right around the 46-yard line for the Jags as they look to finally get into Southlake territory here.
And they're lining up in a trips to the left and a single receiver to his right as we send someone in motion.
And that is going to be a false start on the Jaguars here. Which is going to push back the Jags 5 yards here. So we're going to be back at the 41-yard line. Nothing to worry about here, though. It's 1st and 15 for the Jags. Still plenty of time, as we have about a minute 51 left in this first quarter. Hoping to finish off the quarter with some momentum here.
This quarter has gone by really fast. There hasn't been a lot of stoppage time.
And good for the Jaguars too. They've been able to keep this this Dragon defense out on the field, wearing them down, which over time could have a toll on them. And there is a pass completed to William Huber for 5 yards, and it is 2nd and 10 for the Jaguars now.
Back up to the original line of scrimmage. Jags hoping to cross the 50-yard line for the first time this game.
We have Uzuihe out in motion. There are trips to the right. Avery with the snap. It's a pass up in the air, and it is intercepted. It is an intercepted pass intended for number 6, William Sikora, and number 24 for the Southlake Dragons, RJ Mickens, with the interception here.
And this is a freshman who is starting on varsity football and 6A football.
Very impressive here. And now the Dragons will take over possession here at what seems to be the 37-yard line for Southlake here.
These turnovers are killer. This is a second interception the Jaguars have thrown tonight.
The secondary for Southlake is proving to be a threat not to be reckoned with. As Ryan just mentioned, that was the second interception for the Southlake Dragons. And there is a handoff to number 15, Audric Gaines, for the Dragons, but there is also a penalty on the play.
It looks like there's going to be a holding call.
And it is a holding on the Southlake Dragons. That will push them back 10 yards here. The Dragons are picking up a lot of penalties so far in this game. And what do you make of that, Ryan?
I think that this is both teams are traditionally very disciplined, and all these penalties just end up being lack of discipline is what it is.
I agree. It'll really come back to bite them if they keep making these mistakes. But we have 2 tailbacks lined up with the quarterback here for the Dragons. And it is a handoff to 15, and he is wrapped up by number 41, Brandon McHugh. That's a fantastic play by Brandon. Way to really sniff it out and get back in the backfield.
It's a big play by the big defensive end. And a lot of help, too. There was no way he was going to get out of that. There was a plethora of Jaguars out there. There's your SAT word of the day.
And it looks like the Dragons are going to be facing a 2nd and 24 here. So we'll see. The quarterback takes the snap back in the pocket. And nowhere to go right now. The pocket is closing in on him. And the pass is completed, though, to number 11. And that is Jackson Davis, the senior receiver.
We do have a penalty, though, in the back of the...
It looks to be another holding on the Southlake offense here. We'll wait and see what the officials have to say here. It seems almost every play of this drive for the Dragons, there's been a penalty thrown on the play.
It's been very fortunate for the Jaguars. We keep pushing them back. And this one is going to be against the Dragons.
And it will be a holding penalty here, so that's going to drive them back even further. They're going to be facing a 2nd and 34 here.
And that is an opportunity for the Jaguar defense to pounce on that, because this is a long situation, so more than likely we're expecting a pass or a draw. So expect their defense to step up and make some big plays. This is where our D-line and linebackers can really make their bread and butter.
And it looks to be that Southlake is pinned at their own 14-yard line. It is a quarterback draw, and he is taken down by number 44, Connor Lee. Connor is the junior linebacker for the Jaguars this year. And he is also assisted on the tackle by Alec Brooks, also another junior linebacker. So we have Connor and Alec, both the starting linebackers for the Jaguars tonight. So it's good to see that we've got some younger guys who are starting. So it'll be good to have the two of them back next year.
And that is the end of the first quarter with the Jaguars trailing the Dragons 7-0. You're listening to FMSN. And welcome back to FMSN. Jaguars trail the Dragons 7-0. And a big third down. It's 3rd and 25 for the Dragons.
As we are starting the second quarter here, and we will see what the Dragons have here for 3rd and 25. Two tailbacks in the backfield with the quarterback, and it is snapped. The quarterback is in the pocket, and it is a pass that is completed to number 3 of the Jaguars. That is Jacob Copeland. And it looks that the Dragons are short here, so it is going to be 4th and 12. And so a good stop here by the Jaguars as Sterling Deary, number 28, goes back to receive the punt.
Good job by the Jaguar defense. A lot of that started off with a lot of penalties, but then Brandon Bascue had a big TFL that caused the Dragons to be pushed back further and further as the Jaguars run away from the ball and will start at about their own, it looks to be 18.
Cole Ramage with the booming punt here really pins the Jags back after not having fantastic field position. So now the Jags will be forced to start this drive off from their own 18-yard line.
The last drive, the Jaguars started off at their own 5, and they actually were building up momentum, but we threw a second interception, which caused our drive to end. But our defense held up, so it's still a one-score ball game with 11:16 left in the first half.
And even with the interception on the last drive, we were seeing some better signs from the offense. So there isn't too much to be worried about right now. It's just a matter of time before we have some big plays that start to develop here. And we have number 6, William Sikora, with the wide receiver sweep. And he gets outside and looks to get back to the line of scrimmage. He went from one sideline to another right there.
That's a long way to run to gain not very many yards.
That's right. A lot of running right there just to get back to the line, but now we have 2nd and 10 for the Jags. We'll see what play call we have here. We've got 2 receivers to the right of Averett, and we have the single receiver, Jack Miller, on the left. And it is a fake handoff, and it is a completion to number 8. That is Zach Welch for the Jaguars. Looks to be a completion of about 7 yards there, so the Jags will be faced with 3rd and 3 now. We have a manageable 3rd down here. Let's see if the Jaguars are able to convert here. And then Averett trying to throw the defense off sides there, but no one would budge, so we'll see what the new call is here from Coach.
And like many teams, the Jaguars have the big whiteboard with random pictures on it. Who knows what those actually mean?
And Averett's pass is slung over to Billy Sikora, but he is not able to hang on, and that will be a 4th down now for the Jaguars.
That defense just got off the field after having a really good stop on the Southlake Carroll offense.
It's looking to be a defensive battle tonight. Nothing much really cooking for the offenses on either side other than the opening drive for the Dragons, but so it'll be a battle of the defenses, so we'll have to see who's able to prevail here.
And as we said, this is the first game in our district play as we have a booming punt. And the freshman for Southlake, R.J. Mickens, excuse me, um, fair catches the punt to the Dragon 36.
And it will be 1st and 10 for the Dragons here, as Ryan was just saying, they're on their 36-yard line. And it is a full house tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It is a lot of people. It's good to see the stands filled up tonight. A lot of support for your Jaguars tonight as they are taking on the Dragons.
There are few things more special than Friday Night Football in Texas.
And there looks to be a false start on the Dragons. Wow. Seems almost penalty after penalty. It sound like a broken record right now. Just same thing happening. There seems to be some miscommunication or, like you were saying, lack of discipline for the Dragons right now.
The Dragons had 3 holding calls on their last drive.
And there is a handoff that is to 15, that is gains for the Dragons, and he's wrapped up by junior linebacker number 44, Connor Lee. And it will be 2nd and 13 for the Southlake Dragons. We're seeing some good signs right now from our defense. Compared to the first drive, the defense has really been able to make some plays and some stands, is really pressuring the quarterback as a bubble is thrown out to Gaines again, the running back. And he looks to
Have gained 1 yard.
I think he did gain 1 yard there. So it looks to be 3rd and 12 here for the Southlake Dragons. The student section is really getting into it now for 3rd down right here. We're looking for a 3rd down stand, and it is 3rd and 12. Threes are in the air, and looking to make some noise to draw some miscommunication here. Quarterback is in the pocket, and it is a incomplete pass. It was thrown out of bounds by the quarterback for the Dragons.
And that was a beautiful stunt by defensive end Brandon Bascue. He went inside, and the defensive tackle went outside. Brandon Bascue went in there and laid the quarterback out as he threw the ball. If he was just half a step faster, he would have had a sack.
Love to see our defensive players really getting after it and attacking the quarterback right here. And the punt by Cole Ramage is going to be fair caught by Sterling Deary at around the 27-yard line. Not a lot of action going on either side for the offenses right now, so we're looking to see who can really make a statement here. Hopefully the Jags have a response after their defense has really just been shutting them down ever since the first drive.
Yeah, that first drive, the Jags had a lot of holes in it, and they made a lot of adjustments, and now the Southlake keeps going backwards. Granted, they also seem to be getting a penalty every other play.
Exactly. It almost seemed like the defense for the Jaguars was a little timid and not exactly sure what to expect from this competitive and physical Southlake team. So now that they kind of have a feel for it, they're really coming into their own. But the pass on 1st down by Jackson Averett is just outside. That was intended for Zach Welch.
You know, a lot of the time people are timid when they play Southlake Carroll. Southlake Carroll is one of the more preeminent powerhouses in Texas high school football, but in the last couple of years they've kind of fallen off that, and it's just the name that people are fearing, not the actual team. But as you can see, the game is now, it's 7-0 in favor of the Dragons, but it is a close game right here in the middle of the second quarter.
Exactly, and as I say, anything can happen on any given day. It's just whoever shows up that day. As Jackson Averett's pass is caught by Will Huber for a gain of 7 yards, and it is, yes, it was a gain of 7 yards, and it is, 5 yards, I'm sorry. It's going to be 3rd and 5 for the Jaguars now. And Averett looks over to the sidelines to see what number 12, Landon Sadler, holding the board up for the Jaguars. And like you were saying, who knows what's going on over there. I see the Dale and Brennan sign. I think we have some, we may have the Captain Crunch logo too. Who knows? And there is another interception by number 18 of the Southlake Carroll Dragons, and he brings it back, and it's
going to be short of the end zone. They take up the official is now calling it a touchdown.
So that is the ruling on the field right now is a pick six by the Southlake Dragons. The secondary for the Dragons right now is really the only thing in their defense that is looking to show no mercy right now. It's almost every deep ball that the Jaguars have had, their secondary has been able to make a play on. So we may have to make an adjustment here and figure out some other ways that we can really attack them through the air. But back to the interception, that was Jake Murphy, the senior for the Dragons, with the pick six.
And that's our third interception of the game, and those interceptions are killer. As the kick is up and it is good. Dragons are up 14-0 with 7:25 left in the first half.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what adjustments we have with Averett here. I know that we haven't had too much success through the air and not necessarily on the ground either. We're gonna have to figure out ways to really blow open this Southlake Carroll offense without having to rely on penalties only to move the ball down the field.
And we will take a quick break here on FMSN. The score is 14 Dragons, Jaguars 0.
And we are back here in the second quarter with 7:25 left on the clock. And the Southlake Dragons with Cole Ramage are looking to kick off with Sterling Deary and Ryan Johnson back to receive for the Jaguars.
Now, the tale of this game has been interceptions by the Jaguars. We just threw our third interception of the game, and that one was actually for 6.
And the ball is booted deep, but this time, it is muffed by Sterling Deary, but he is able to get to the 11-yard line.
That could have been a serious problem for the Jaguars. He could have muffed it, and the Southlake Carroll was right there, but he managed to get it and have awareness to get upfield.
Yeah, that's a great example of how to never give up on a play right there. But just good job by Sterling, even though he muffed it, to stay with it and to really make something out of nothing right there. So the Jaguars will start off 1st and 10 on their own 12-yard line. And hopefully we'll see what adjustments that we have, as we haven't had too much success offensively. So we'll really see what we can get cooking for us.
Our defense has been playing lights out throughout this game, and also being fortunate to have a lot of Southlake Carroll penalties, but our offense has thrown 3 interceptions, and it's hard to win games when you're giving the ball back to the other team.
And one of which was a pick six for the Dragons, and which really goes to show that the Southlake Dragons have only had one offensive touchdown, and the defense has really been making a stand. So we need to get some points on the board so we can put the pressure back on the Dragons once again.
And that's a 4-yard pickup by the Jaguars, taking us up to our own 16. We haven't been able to establish the running game. I think our running back has only had just one big 10-yard carry. The rest have been shut down right at the line or just 1 or 2 yards.
It's a high snap, and it is thrown over. That is a catch by Billy Sikora off of a little bubble screen. So Coach Basil is definitely trying to implement the quick game here by throwing out these quick bubble screens, but that is a gain of 9 for Billy Sikora, and that is going to be a Flower Mound Jaguar first down.
Never gets old. I never get tired of that.
Not at all. And now we are on the 25, and it is a handoff to Afini, and he keeps his feet going. He's just not, he's just pushing up the middle, just keeping his feet going, and he is not going to let just one Southlake Dragon take him down. It's going to have to take a couple of them.
It looks like about a gain of 6 for the Jaguars. 2nd down and 4 coming up right now.
With just under 6 minutes left to play before the end of the first half. Big thing here is going to be trying to get some points or some momentum heading into halftime. 14-0. It's really crucial that we get some sort of points on the board so we have something to get us going heading into halftime. But we have a incomplete pass intended for Billy Sikora. It was another little bubble screen, so we're seeing that Coach Basil is definitely liking the little bubble routes here. And it is 3rd and 4 for the Jaguars.
The Jaguars have been struggling to find momentum on offense. If it hadn't been for a couple defensive penalties, they wouldn't have moved the ball up on a couple of their drives.
And it is a fake handoff kept by Jackson Averett, and he motors his way to what is going to be a first down for the Jaguars. That's a heads-up play by the quarterback right there, the junior. That's a big-time play, really keeping the momentum going for the Jaguars, and that is good for another Flower Mound first down.
That's a great play call by the Jaguars. The defense has been biting on our running back, and it was good for our quarterback to pull that and take it right up the middle for a gain of 5.
Yeah, it's good to see the quarterback taking some initiative and shaking it up here, because it seems like Southlake has become a little too comfortable with us running the ball, so it's good to shake it up. But the first down pass is incomplete, intended for Billy Sikora, just a little high and right through his hands. But it's going to be 2nd down and 10 now at the Flower Mound 36. As we are approaching 5 minutes left in the second quarter.
The Jaguar offense just needs to gain a little bit of momentum, and this game is a one-score game. Right now, it's 14-0 as a deep pass is thrown and it's dropped. That would have been a big gain for the Jaguars. That was Zach Welch. He had it in his fingertips, and they just couldn't hold on to it long enough.
That was a fantastic placement right there by Jackson Averett, really showing what kind of an arm he has. And unfortunately, Zach Welch, he just couldn't keep it in as the defensive back looked to find a way for him to bring it out, but just right in his fingertips.
It was a great throw and a great near catch by the Jaguars, but it brings up 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, great effort on both parts there. It's I like us still trying to test this Dragon secondary, showing that we aren't afraid to try and test them, but the pass is incomplete on 3rd and 10, and that was intended for number 3, Will Huber. Looked to be just a little high there. So maybe some miscommunication here between quarterbacks and receivers, but either way, we need to figure out what is going on and try to make some adjustments here, as it is now 4th and 10, and the Jaguars with Josh Grant look to pound it away to the Dragons. And R.J. Mickens, is back for the Dragons to receive the punt. And the punt is away. And it is going to be fair caught by Mickens at the 25-yard line of the Southlake Dragons. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for Southlake, with just under 5 minutes now left in the second quarter.
Just want to give a quick shout out to our official senior sponsors, Photo Sport, Rapid Men, and Toll Brothers. We appreciate all that you do for the Flower Mound Jaguar football team.
And the first down play is a handoff to Gaines for a gain of 2 yards here, or 3 yards, excuse me. So it is going to be 2nd and 7 for the Southlake Carroll Dragons.
The Jaguars have been really good about stopping the run as Southlake Carroll jumps off sides.
Some pressure brought in by Connor Lee to help cause a false start on the Dragon offense. It's going to be a false start on 54. That is Carson Green for the Dragons, who was drawn offsides. But
that is perfectly understandable. Connor Lee is a monster.
That is one kid you do not want to mess with, or I should say, man, you don't want to mess with.
He is definitely a man among boys.
And there is a little bubble screen for number 7 of the Dragons. That is Hudson Shrum. He's a junior receiver for the Dragons.
That takes him to the original line of scrimmage, bring up a 3rd and 10.
And another 3rd down here that the Dragons are facing. So we're hoping to get some noise going right here and get another stop with our defense here. Defense has really shown up to play tonight, and this is exactly what we were talking about earlier before the game, Ryan, is that we've been known for our offense, but this defense is it's really going to cause problems for teams that face us now.
And our secondary just played perfect coverage as the deep ball by Southlake falls out of bounds, and it is 4th down, and the Dragons are going to punt back to the Jaguars.
With Sterling Deary on the coverage there, that was a great job of staying with the receiver there and not giving him any room, as he actually is now going back to receive the punt by Cole Ramage here. So it is 4th down and 10 for the Dragons. The snap is high, and the ball is off. And Sterling fair catches at the Flower Mound 34 with 3:30 left in the second quarter. So once again, trying to get some momentum. It's almost everything sounds like a broken record tonight. It's just it's penalties and then just trying to get offenses going on both sides tonight. So it really is just a defensive showdown right now. Not exactly what we were expecting tonight. I was expecting a high-scoring game from both offenses, but definitely not what has been shown so far.
Now, the Jaguar offense has actually had the ball longer than Southlake's. We've had more drives and taken a lot more time off the clock, but we're not doing anything. We keep miscommunications on our passing game is just killing us, and also those interceptions.
And number 6, Billy Sikora is in motion as Jackson Averett takes the snap, and it is a halfback screen, and Afani with some room, and he's still on his feet. He's still going. Afani Uzuihe, he has some open room, and he is going. And that is going to be a touchdown for the Jaguars.
But there is a flag on the field. Let's see what that's against, if it plays stands or not.
And the officials are meeting up, but if the play stands, that is going to be what seems to be a 65-yard touchdown.
Let's see what the officials call.
The officials are meeting up right now. And we'll see what they call. It looks like it may be
potential. And here comes the call right now.
And that is a face mask on the defense, and that is good for a Flower Mound touchdown. Big play right there by Afani Uzuihe as the halfback screen was dished off by Jackson Averett. That is going to be a 66-yard touchdown right there for the Jaguars, and that is exactly what we were talking about that we needed as Josh Grant looks to put the PAT. And it is drilled right through the middle. It is a 14-7 ball game for your Jaguars.
You know what? That play was a great call on that. We set it up by running the ball, and then hitting those deep, quick passes and stuff. And the Dragon defense was looking for that short pass, and we just dumped it off right to our running back. And then he just put on an incredible effort, breaking several tackles, taking it to the house. And we have a 7-point ball game right now with 3:14 left in the first half. I don't think a lot of people thought that Flower Mound would be in this game with Southlake Carroll.
No, I guarantee if you ask anyone tonight before the game, very little people would say that Flower Mound would be in contention like this right now. But just a tremendous display of athleticism and just making sure that nothing was going to stand in between Afani and the touchdown right there. Just keeping his feet moving. That's been the ongoing theme with Afani, is just pushing for extra yards and just making things happen. But also good to see the flag crew finally running across the field here.
Yeah, they've been sitting and being lazy all night. They haven't done anything. They need to get some exercise.
Good to see him running across and finally getting some action. So But more importantly, we have a ball game here, and the student section is into it now. They knew now the team has a new breath of fresh air right here, some new life, and the student section is all on their feet. It is packed and crowded right now. I love it. This is what Friday nights is all about.
And this is a way to open up the district play. I love it.
Exactly.
14-7, 3 minutes and 14 seconds left in the first half. You can't get better than that. This is anybody's ball game right now.
Coach Basil is definitely showing the new era of Flower Mound football and what he is hoping to display here. And while we are waiting for the kickoff here,
oh, the personal foul on the touchdown is assessed on the kickoff. So the Jaguars are kicking off from the Dragon 45. So expect a pooch kick. Trying to get the Dragons pinned back in there, deep in their territory.
and Josh Grant is back to kick now. And the ball is off, and it sails through the end zone and actually drills one of the Southlake band members. So
He actually almost caught it.
I know he. Luckily
he had some hands, but I guess he dropped
right.
it.
I know.
So the Dragons will start the ball on their own 20 with 3 minutes 14 seconds left in the first half. Jaguars trail 14-7.
And a quick announcement before the drive starts, but we have our Flower Mound cross country team is at the Kelley Invitational Saturday, so tomorrow actually, Saturday, September 24th. And Flower Mound Swimming is at the Colony Invitational tomorrow as well. So go and check out our cross country and our swimming tomorrow. Love to support all sports that our Jags are participating in. As the ball that was thrown to number 7 is actually caught. It was bobbled at first by Hudson Shrum, but he was able to bring it in before he went out of bounds. That was impressive right there.
That's a gain of 11 on that play, which is good enough for a Dragon first down.
And the Dragons with the hurry-up offense here. They hand it off to number 15, Gaines, and he gains around 3 yards right there.
And that puts right there on the Dragon 40.
And it will be 2nd and 7 for the Southlake Dragons here.
The Jaguar defense has been very impressive. I hope to get some takeaways as Dragons complete for a first down, getting about 11 to about the Jaguar 48.
And Southlake pushes up almost into Flower Mound territory. They are going to be at the 48-yard line. And the snap here for the Dragons. And it is a fake handoff, and it is a deep pass. Sterling Deary on the coverage, and just out of the fingertips of the receiver. I believe that is number 3 for the Dragons, and that is Clayton Keys.
That was just great coverage by our secondary right there. He was running with him stride for stride, and that's a good coverage by him.
Great job right there by Sterling Deary, the corner for the Jaguars, and it is a fake handoff to the running back there, and a missed tackle, but Matthew Greenwood staying in his zone right there and being able to make an open field tackle. That's huge right there.
Coming out of nowhere, we had a missed tackle. That could have been really bad for the Jaguars, but came out of nowhere and made a play, and it was only a 2-yard gain. We have 3rd down and 8.
Huge play right there. That honestly changes the complete momentum heading into halftime. I mean, he has nothing but open room right there because Matthew's a safety, and if he gets by Matthew, it's just open field right there. So who knows? He could have been going to the house, but
and the Jaguars are going to be called for a pass interference.
As it is Dakota Nielsen on the coverage there, and the ball is intended for Hudson Shrum for the Southlake Dragons.
It was a good play, but he grabbed the back of the receiver's jersey and pulled him back, and the refs are going to call that almost every single time. Good effort, though. And that brings the Dragon ball to the Jaguar 39.
And it will be 1st and 10 for the Dragons with a minute 42 left in the second quarter before halftime. As there is a handoff to Gaines, but there is also a penalty on the play. We have 2 flags actually. And it looked to be a 9-yard gain by Gaines right there. And it is going to be holding on the Southlake Dragons once again. So that is going to back them up, and they will be forced with 1st and 20 here. Penalties have really been killing the Dragon offense tonight,
which I am perfectly okay with.
I have no problem with that at all. If they want to keep getting penalties, I am perfectly fine with that. Gives our defense a little break and some more motivation here to just keep it going. As there's a running back draw here.
It looks like they get back to the
15
line of scrimmage, possibly. Yes.
Looks like
a
it.
yard short, so there you are on their Jaguar 40 now.
And it will be 2nd and 11 for the Dragons here. Just approaching the 1-minute mark. A stand here by the defense would be crucial as we look to see what we can do. And the ball is...
And they're going to rule that a catch. Good effort.
Caught by number 3 of the Dragons. That is Clayton Keys. That is a phenomenal effort of just keeping that ball in because the defensive back was all up in there, and he was really giving him a run for his money and trying to hold on to that ball. As the first down handoff by Gaines is good for about 4 yards here, so it will be 2nd and 6 on the Flower Mound 26.
And with that, we're going to take a quick break here. You're listening to FMSN.
All those urgent care places you drive by every day, they do look all the same, but only one of them consistently wins the Best of awards year after year. Only one of them has all those jerseys from the local high school teams because those players sure need patching up more than most. And only one place has the same great doctors that stick around because they love their patients. That place? Rapid Med, your hometown family doctors with big ol' hearts right here at the corner of Justin and Chinchapel Road.
And we are back, Jag Nation, as there are 44 seconds left in this second quarter, and it is still 14-7 Dragons, as it is 2nd and 7, and the snap is off right here.
Looking for a big stop by the Jaguars going into half.
And it is a handoff to Gaines for the Dragons, as he picks up the first down right there, so gain of 7. The Dragons are pushing the running game this drive, really developing themselves as it seems to be handoff after handoff to Gaines as he picks up yet another first down off of the first down run. Right around 10 yards on this carry here.
About 11 on that carry. And that puts... And we're going to take a quick break here on FMSN.
It is number 88 for Southlake. That is Cole Ramage. And he boots the ball, and it is going to be muffed again, but it's picked up by Sterling Deary, and he takes the ball around the 24-yard line.
He took off a lot of time off the clock. Took about 5 seconds. We have 8 seconds left. Probably time for about one more play. He's shaking up on that play.
As
athletic trainers attend to him right away.
Yeah, Deary seems to be a little shaken up on the play. I don't know if it looks to be his leg that they're looking at right now, but hopefully he's okay and is able to come back in the second half with 8 seconds left in the first. Possibly a cramp they could be working on, so we'll keep you updated. But with 8 seconds left, we have Jackson Averett in the backfield along with Afeni Uzuihe. And we have 2 receivers to the right of him and 2 to the left. And it is a draw to Afeni. And he picks up around 4 yards here as that looks to end the first half with the score of Southlake 21 and your Jaguars 7.
You know, the tale of the game has just been penalties and interceptions by the Jaguars. Jaguars have 3 interceptions, one of them being a pick 6. And then Southlake has been plagued by penalties. The Jaguars are in this game. They just need to find some momentum on offense, and then the defense just needs to keep getting those stops. They've been playing lights out almost the entire game, only giving up 2 scores that were very long drives, and also penalties were a big factor of that.
So we'll look to see what Coach Brian Basil has to offer for his team, but we'll have to see how the second half plays off.
But we'll be right back here. We'll let the bands do their thing. You're listening to FMSN. Jag Nation, it is 21-7 as we open up the second half here on Future Jag Night at Neil E. Wilson Stadium in Flower Mound, Texas. It's a beautiful night. The Jags are only down 21-7, but it's not the tale of the scoreboard that matters. It's the tale of our interceptions by the Jaguars. We've thrown 3, and as well as a pick 6. And then Southlake Carroll has been plagued by penalties, and that has stopped their momentum, but they've managed to get 2 offensive scores.
The biggest theme of the night, Ryan, I'm going to have to say is defense tonight. I mean, it's really, the scoreboard doesn't reflect it necessarily for the Dragons, or for the Jaguars, I should say, but both defenses have been putting on a clinic as they've been really shutting each other down, and it'll be interesting to see how the Jags respond after the halftime speech that they got from Coach Basil, and we'll see how this half comes to play.
But, in high school football, they have a long period of time to make adjustments. Both bands get the share of the field. So the Jaguars have had plenty of time to make adjustments, and I'm expecting big things. Hopefully maybe some defensive scores or special team scores to change momentum. Our offense is struggling a little bit, but I feel that our changes are going to are going to help us score.
Yeah, and hopefully we can see a little more aggressiveness on offensively for both teams, especially for the Jaguars. We've been really limited with our offense other than that 165-yard or 66-yard touchdown screen pass to Afeni Uzuihe, and hopefully we can get something cooking with our passes along with our run game, since during most of the first half we were shut down with both of our offensive style.
A great effort play, and that's all it really is effort. Effort will change games, and the Jaguars are set to kick off in the second half as they received in the first half.
And we have Josh Grant for the Flower Mound Jaguars, number 36, kicking off to the Southlake Dragons. As we were saying earlier, Southlake kicked off to Flower Mound to begin the game, so accordingly, the Dragons will be receiving the second half kickoff, and we will see what Josh Grant can do for his Jaguars as he tries to pin them back into their own territory. And here's the kick, and it is a deep one, and that is going to be a touchback as it sails out of the back of the end zone. That was a powerful kick to start off the second half by Josh Grant, and the Dragons will now start off in their own 25-yard line.
Now, my thing for the defense is to stop the run. Now, they did a good job most of the first half, but there was a couple holes and it allowed the Dragons to run down the field and eat up a lot of the clock. So you need to stop the run, and then when they get to passing situations, it's defensive line. It's let's go. Time to go get the quarterback. He's got too long of time. That offensive line is a big offensive line. They average 256 pounds. The Jaguar defense needs to prevail over that.
And the biggest thing here for our defensive line is just being able to apply pressure to the quarterback. Once we've been able to do that, we've been able to shut them down and really not allow their quarterback enough time to find open receivers, which has been causing panic among him. And that first pass is completed to number 11, Jackson Davis, for 6 yards, and it is now 2nd and 4 for the Dragons on the 31-yard line. And second down is a handoff, and he is immediately met by, that is number 68, and that is Daryl Rutherford. That's a great way of pursuing the football right there and stopping him as soon as he gets it.
That's actually a loss of 2, it looks like.
And now it will be 3rd and 5 for the Dragons. So the student section again getting hyped for another 3rd down stop here potentially, as we'll see what kind of a statement the Flower Mound defense has. As the quarterback receives it, he's back in the pocket and he throws, and it is a completed pass to number 3, Clayton Keys for the Dragons, as Dakota Nielsen was on the coverage right there. And there's a shaken up jag on the play. I believe that is number 29. I think that is David Evans possibly here. We'll double check and see who it is, but there is definitely a shaken up jag on the play.
And with that, we will take a quick break here. You're listening to FMSN.
And we do have confirmation that was number 29. That was David Evans, who was the shaken up Jaguar on the play. And he's taken to the sidelines, but he is walking off on his own power, and he's actually jogging now. So he is looking like he's doing better.
Looks like he just got the wind knocked out of him. But it is first down on the Southlake Carroll 44.
And we'd also, after that injury right there, we'd like to give a shout out to all of our athletic trainers tonight for their hard work and dedication. I know not only the players, but just the entire school is. We're very blessed to have them as our training staff, and we admire all the hard work that they do. So we want to give a shout out to all the trainers who work day in and day out to tend to the players. And there's actually another injury on the field, and that is a Southlake Dragon.
It looks like the quarterback, Mason Holmes, got hit pretty hard on that. He was tackled by a whole gang of Jaguars. The swarming defense prevented him. He got a 0 gain on that to bring up 2nd down and 10. But we're going to keep it right here on FMSN. Give a little quick shout out to our official Navy sponsors, Ragmop's Cleaning Service, Strategic Direct Solutions, Lori Barge, Family and Cosmetic Dentistry, and Radiant Landscaping of Texas. And also our official silver sponsors this year, the DFW Oral Surgeons.
And also some upcoming events that we have other than our cross country and swimming that we do have tomorrow if you want to swing by. We do have, next Tuesday, we have Flower Mound Tennis against Marcus. So we have a crosstown rivalry, which will be good, along with Flower Mound Volleyball is playing Marcus as well. So it's going to be a big week next week with regards to playing our crosstown rivals, Edward S. So we hope that we can have a lot of support for our athletics next week.
So backup quarterback for Southlake Carroll, Will Bowers, is in the game now, as starting quarterback Mason Holmes left the game with an injury.
But he seems to be coming back in now, so it looks as Mason Holmes is making an entrance back into the game. And that last play was a handoff to Gaines for about 2 yards right there. So it is going to be 3rd and 8 here for the Southlake Carroll Dragons. And it is a deep pass that is...
They're ruling that a catch.
They are ruling that a catch on the play right there. That is an amazing effort by the wide receiver right there to even catch that ball. There weren't any defensive backs in sight. It looks just like there was some miscommunication in the secondary for the Jaguars. I don't really know what was going on there, but luckily, if that ball wasn't just a little bit overthrown, that could have been 6 points on the board. And that's a handoff on first down to number 15, and that is Audric Gaines for the Dragons as he plows forward for 8 yards there, and it's going to be 2nd and 2 for the Dragons on the Flower Mound 13-yard line. And there's another handoff to Audric, and it is good for a first down as he plows through that D line of the Jaguars. The offensive line for the Dragons right now came out pretty solid. They've really been creating some good holes for the running back to make his way through. And another handoff, and a hurdle, and Audric Gaines is into the end zone for a touchdown, and that is good for 6 right there as the Dragons now take it 27-7 over the Jaguars. Just as we were talking about this physical Jaguar defense, it's almost as if it's a repeater. It's like deja vu from that very first drive that they had.
Yeah, the first drive they didn't have any penalties as the kick is up and good, but the Dragons didn't have any penalties their first drive, and they ended up in the end zone. All the other drives, they've had lots of penalties, and that's why they haven't found the end zone as frequently as they would like to.
So once again, the Jaguars find themselves in a hole here as they need to try to find a way to get their offense to rebound here. As there's about 9 minutes left here, or approaching 9 minutes in the third quarter, and the Jags are down 28-7 to the Dragons. So we will keep you posted.
And this game was 14-7 just before half, and Southlake Carroll scored just right before half on a little run play. This game is really close. Don't let the scoreboard reflect how the Jaguars are playing. The Jaguars are playing really well. Just a couple of mistakes are affecting the outcome of this game.
And the two teams are now lining up for kickoff as we have 88 for the Dragons. Cole Ramage is going to kick off for Southlake. And we have, once again, Sterling Deary, number 28, and Ryan Johnson, number 2 for the Jaguars, back deep to return. And to mark some other events coming up this week, we have our dramatic pause are presenting The Boys Next Door, which will begin Thursday, September 29th at 7 p.m. And again, that is the dramatic pause presenting The Boys Next Door, which will begin Thursday, September 29th at 7 p.m.
And the kick is off, and it's a little short as the Jaguars make an actual return this time. No muff kick this one.
And Ryan Johnson on the return showing a couple moves there, bringing a decent return back for the Jaguars as he brings it up to about the 23, 24-yard line. It looks like he will be wrapped up right around the 23. And now we will see what the offense can do for us here as it has its first appearance of the half here. Looking to rebound from the early points that the Dragons scored to open up this second half. So we'll see what Jackson Averett and this Brian Basil offense has. As Jackson takes the snap, and it is a handoff to number 32, Afeni Uzuihe. And he is met by a squad of 4 or 5 Dragons here. He got met right behind the line, and I don't even know if he made it back.
It looks like he managed to gain a yard by the placement, so it's 2nd down and 9. Which I'll take any positive yardage.
Positive yards is fine with me. We gotta keep building up on these yards and try to gain some momentum. That's been the story of this game for this Jaguar offense. And it's another handoff, and find Uzuihe with a hole, and he's able to find his way up around the 42-yard line. A solid run by Afani as he's able to hit the hole quick and make a couple tacklers miss.
A nice little burst of energy. Those little momentum plays build up. You just got to keep having one more momentum play after another, and you will keep rolling the ball.
And we have another Flower Mound first down here as we have, a fumble. We had a little miscommunication on a halfback option here. The quarterback decided to keep the ball, but in all the meanwhile, there seemed to be a little a bobble in between the running back and the quarterback there as Averett fumbled the ball there, and the Southlake Dragons were able to recover. So it will be 1st and 10 for the Dragons in Flower Mound territory on their own 38-yard line. Things were just looking promising right there for the Jaguars, and then this little bobble right here completely just threw the momentum away. And we will see how our defense is able to make up here. Still plenty of ball game left, so anything can go at this point. We just need some stops, and we need the offense to start working a little bit as Gaines is given the ball again, and he has a burst of speed, and he tears it up for almost a gain of 20 yards as he just hit the hole, and he kept trucking right there.
And that fumble is the 4th turnover by the Jaguars, and Southlake has 0 turnovers, and that margin is often why games are won or lost.
Exactly, right there, Ryan. I think the biggest thing that the Jaguars have given up this game is the amount of turnovers, and that's really killed them tonight with a fumble and 3 interceptions now. One of the interceptions, in fact, being a pick 6. But the first down rush right there was good for 2 yards as the Dragons now face 2nd and 8 here. And it is another run here by the backup running back, number 27, and he is plowing through the secondary of the Flower Mound Jaguar defense.
That's Robert Sledge on that carry. That's right there into the red zone to the 3.
And it will be 1st and goal for the Dragons. And it is another handoff that is met up by number 24, Alec Brooks, and he is wrapped up around the 1-yard line. So it will be 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line for the Dragons with about 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. And the ball snapped, and it is a handoff to number 27, and he plows his way into the end zone. And that is Trey Sledge there with the touchdown for the Dragons, as it is now 34-7.
And this game was 14-7 with 26 seconds left in the first half, or 7-14 rather. And then the Southlake Carroll scored right before half to make it 21-7, but now Southlake Carroll is blowing up the second half.
And all the momentum just seems to be going right towards Southlake right now as Cole Ramage puts the extra point through the uprights, and it is now 35-7. The boys need to just figure out a way to flush this and try to move on and get something going here so we can try to build on to anything at all right now, as it is a 28-point game.
And Audric Gaines has over 100 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. He didn't score on that drive, but he has been contributing on every single drive. He's been a very vicious back that our defense can't seem to stop. He keeps finding holes that the offensive line is creating.
And the biggest theme going on right now for this second half that we did not see at all during the first half for the Dragons is their offensive line just creating these holes for their running backs to hit the gap through. And the defensive line just needs to figure out a way to really jam up and get some more pressure in there like we did in the first half. And if we keep allowing them to find these holes, we could be in trouble. So we need to make an adjustment quick and try to find a way to counterattack the Dragons.
These Dragons have definitely counteracted their penalty-ridden first half, and I've made adjustments, and they are not making any.
As we have Cole Ramage getting ready to kick off for the Southlake Dragons. And while we wait, some more announcements that we have for your Jags upcoming this week. We have Flower Mound football next Friday at Byron Nelson at 7:30. That is going to be September 30th. And that is going to be at Northwest ISD Stadium. And once again, that is going to be the Flower Mound football game at Byron Nelson at Northwest ISD Stadium. And the game is going to begin at 7:30. September 30th.
And Southlake Carroll gets a penalty as they kick the ball out of bounds at about around the 20. That's an illegal procedure by the Dragons. But the Jaguars will retain the ball still.
And the ball will be placed at the 30-yard line for the Jaguars to begin their offensive session here. As we look to see what we can get going for the Jaguar offense, it's been a shaky start for the offense this half as we had a fumble for their first possession, which ended up leading up to 7 points for the Dragons.
And that's the Jaguars have had 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, one being a pick six, and then that fumble recovery just in the third quarter. And those turnovers are killer.
And needless to say, it's been 14 unanswered points by the Southlake Dragons, so any points we can get on the board at this point would be crucial, as that first down pass was completed to Billy Sikora, number 6, for 5 yards, as it is now second and 4 for the Jaguars. And we have Averett here with the snap, and he's back in the pocket, and he throws it behind Uzuihe, and that ball falls incomplete, which will make it 3rd and 4 for the Jaguars here. This third down here, Ryan, is huge. I think if we let the Dragons get the ball here and put the hands in our defense, we could be in trouble. We need to get some momentum and keep our defense off the field and give them a break because they've been out there for a while now.
And there is plenty of time to get back into this game. At 35-7, I've seen teams come back from way worse. You just got to keep playing hard no matter what in the situation. As the Jaguars throw a deep pass, but it hits the ground, bringing up 4th down and 4 with 5:44 left in the third quarter.
And the Flower Mound Special Teams unit will be heading out to the field with Josh Grant ready to punt it away for the Jaguars. And deep to return for the Dragons, we have number 24, R.J. Mickens.
This kid has 2 interceptions, and he's a freshman playing on varsity and 6A football in Texas.
If you ask me, ladies and gentlemen, that is ridiculous. So keep an eye out for this young man. As the ball booted by Josh Grant takes a friendly Flower Mound roll, and it winds up going all the way down to the 14-yard line in Southlake territory. So the Dragons will have some room to work with here as they have to make a full journey down the field to even get points here.
You know, that field position will help out the Jaguars a little bit, as the Jaguar defense had to start with their backs against their end zone and their own 38 last drive. So now they get to start with some more room to work with. Hopefully the defense can get a stop on this drive.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the defense has here, as they've struggled out their last 2 series out there. So hopefully we make some adjustments and are able to really put some pressure, as we were saying earlier, on this quarterback, because the running back is getting way too much room to run with. As number 7, Hudson Shrum, is in motion and receives the jet sweep. And he picks up about 6 yards here on the run, taking the Dragons to the 21-yard line. And it will now be 2nd and 4. And it is another handoff to Gaines. And he plows up for another Southlake first down. He is just reeling in the yards this second half. He was really shut down and limited this first half, but he's just been really coming into his own this second half and displaying what kind of an athlete that he is. So we just got to find out or we have to make sure at all costs to stop him as he takes another run up the middle.
This time he only gains 2 yards.
As he was tackled by linebacker 44, Connor Lee.
Haven't heard his name a lot tonight. He hasn't been necessarily a big factor in the Jaguar defense.
Exactly, as Connor is one of the captains and definitely one of the most influential leaders on this team. Let's see if he can rally his troops together on defense and create a stop, as it is a quarterback read option here that is good for a first down, but there is a penalty flag in the backfield, so we will see what the call is.
It was a holding call. The official took no time in making that call. It was a very obvious call.
So once again, another penalty for the Southlake Dragons offense, and we'll see if this begins to lead to some more miscommunications between this offense. And this was definitely the one of the biggest issues for this offense in the first half, was all these penalties. So we'll see if this becomes a recurring theme in the second half. As we are about 4 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and the score is still 35-7, Southlake over Flower Mound. And the snap, and it is a run, or it's a fake run, and it is actually a pass that is completed to number 11 for the Dragons. That is Jackson Davis, and that was a huge play for the Southlake offense, as we have a injured Jaguar on the field. That is 21, Matthew Greenwood. We're hoping for nothing serious here, but definitely something to be worried about for this secondary, as Matthew is definitely a special part of that secondary and definitely a leader back there. So we hope nothing serious here.
Most definitely. No one wants to see players get injured.
And we will keep you updated on more when we find out.
But you are listening to FMSN, and we'll take it right back here in a little break. It's 35-7 in favor of Southlake Carroll.
And we are back, and it was number 21, Matthew Greenwood, who was shaken up on that play, but he is looking to be okay as he walked off under his own power and is being treated by the training staff right now. But the first down pass is completed once again to Jackson Davis over the middle. And number 13, Mason Holmes, the starting quarterback for the Dragons, is really coming into his own as well, as he is finding more and more time in the pocket and allowing his receivers to get open. This secondary is really missing out on one of their leaders, Matthew Greenwood, right now. So we will have to have someone step up in his place and take control back there. And the Dragons look to get the play from their coach, as the ball is now snapped, and it is a handoff. Or no, it is a fake. It is a quarterback option here. and it is good for about 9 yards. That is Mason Holmes there with the carry, that was good for 8 yards. So this will be 2nd down and 2 at the Jaguar 10-yard line. And there's a handoff to number 15. That is Audric Gaines.
That's good enough for another first down for the Dragons. Said Gaines' name a lot tonight. He's got over 120 yards rushing tonight.
Especially in this second half, he has really just started to come into his own. And it is another quarterback read, and it is a touchdown for the Southlake Dragons as Mason Holmes keeps it for the quarterback sneak, and he finds his way into the end zone, making the score 41-7 Dragons.
You know, the Jaguars were in this game from the whole first half, and the Jaguars are looking a little deflated right now after the Southlake Carroll has just gone 3 for 3 on their opening drives in the second half.
Exactly. This second half has just been a completely different story compared to the first. The first quarter, or the first half, I should say, was both sides competing, and it was actually a close game, as Ryan was saying, but now it's a 35-point game, and everything has been going Southlake Carroll's way as they continue to crack it open. So,
and with 2:36 left to play in the third quarter, it is Southlake Carroll 42, Flower Mound 7. We'll be right back here on FMSN.
Ashley from Argyle worried more about seeing a new doctor than the finger she just broke playing volleyball.
Ashley loves Dr. Gomez.
Which is why Mom took her to Rapid Med. Again, sure, there's a slew of places that say they're urgent care, but to Ashley's mom, urgent means making her daughter comfortable while getting the very best care.
My daughter is worth it.
Rapid Med, hometown family doctors with Texas-sized hearts at the corner of Justin and Chinchapel Road.
and the Southlake Dragons with Cole Ramage off to kick here. And Sterling Deary and Ryan Johnson look to do some damage here on the kickoff return.
The Jaguars were in this game early on. It was 14-7 with 26 seconds left before the half. And Southlake had a nice little score right before half. But Southlake has blown up. The second half is going 3 for 3 on all their drives in the second half. And it's now 42-7 with 2:36 left in the third quarter.
And Cole Ramage with the boot. It is received by Ryan Johnson, and he is met hard by number 40 for the Southlake Dragons. That is Grant Phelps. Ryan is met immediately, and he is brought down at right around the 25-yard line.
Looks like the 22.
And the Jags will now start off at their own 22-yard line. And we will see what Coach Basil has to respond with here. As we have one tailback with Jackson in the backfield, two receivers to his right and a solo receiver on the left. The snap is low, and it is a handoff to Afini, and he is wrapped up in the backfield, which looks to be a loss of about 6 yards here.
That puts the Jaguars on the 16-yard line.
And it is going to be 2nd down and 15 for the Jaguars here, with about 2 minutes left in the third quarter here. Let's see if we can get the passing game back into this. But Jackson looks over to the sideline, and once again with our sign of who knows what, relaying the information, and it's a complete pass to number 3, Will Huber, as he makes it back to the original line of scrimmage, it looks like, or just short.
But there is a flag on the play. Let's see what the officials decide to call.
And it will be a holding call against the Jaguars, so they will get pinned up even further into their own territory. Flags have really defined this entire game. Not as much as in the first half, but they've been really killer this game. And as we were saying earlier, the team with the most flags towards the end will begin struggling. So we got to make sure that we limit our penalties that we have right here and capitalize on the yardage that we can get, as it is now 2nd and 26. Ball on the Flower Mound 8. And it is going to be a quarterback sneak by Jackson Averett here. Good for about 2 yards. And it will now be 3rd and 24 for the Jaguars.
These third downs have been killer, especially since they've been extra distance with penalties or tackles for loss.
And we will see what kind of play call that Coach Basil has for his offense here. More than likely, it'll either be a draw or we're going to be looking at a shot down field here, but we'll see what he does call. And Averett is back, and it is a bubble screen to number 6, Billy Sikora, but he is met right away after a gain of about 3 or 4 yards here.
And a timeout is called. We'll keep it right here on FMSN. The Flower Mound Rotary Fest Neon Light 5K is happening October 1st. Louisville Independent School District West Zone schools are proud to support the 4th annual Flower Mound Rotary Fest and Neon Light 5K at Heritage Park in Flower Mound, set for Saturday, October 1st from 4 to 9 p.m. The run will begin at 7:15. This fun community event offers free activities for children, food trucks, and live music from Petty Theft and Washer Tournament, as the Jaguars go back on offense.
And the special teams unit is out for the Jaguars right now, as Josh Grant once again looks to boot it to R.J. Mickens, the freshman for the Dragons, who has been having himself a game.
And he boots it all the way to the 50-yard line, right there on the M for the Flower Mound logo. And the Jaguars are going back on defense with 20 seconds left in the third quarter. And second half has been all Southlake Carroll, as Southlake Carroll has gone 3 for 3 on their drives. And that's a 21-point swing for the Dragons.
With about 20 seconds left in this third quarter, we look to see maybe 1 or 2 more plays from the Southlake offense, but once again, it is still a 35-point game. It is 42-7, as it looks to be the backup quarterback for the Dragons is now in, and that is number 14, Will Bowers, who is a sophomore, filling in for senior quarterback Mason Holmes. And the first down play is a handoff to number 27, Trey Sledge, for about pickup of about 5 yards, and it's now going to be 2nd and 5, which brings us to an end of the third quarter, and we now head into the fourth quarter with a score of Southlake Carroll 42 and your Flower Mound Jaguars 7.
And we'll be right back here on FMSN.
And we are back with the start of the fourth quarter, with the Southlake Carroll Dragons up 42-7. And the 2nd and 5 play here is brought back to 2nd and 10 now, as the Southlake Dragons have a false start to start off the fourth quarter here. Another penalty here. So we'll see what Will Bowers and this Southlake Carroll offense can do here, as it is a handoff to number 27, Trey Sledge, and he is out of bounds around the 48-yard line of in Jaguars territory. And it looks to be 3rd and 8 here. And we are looking for a crucial stop here by your Jaguars.
The Flower Mound defense is just getting gassed because they're on the field for so long. The Flower Mound offense has been doing 3 and outs the whole third quarter, and Southlake's offense is just rolling.
That's exactly what we were talking about earlier when Ryan and I were mentioning that the best thing that Flower Mound can do is push down the field and really drive with their offense so they can give their defense as much time as they can to rest up and head out to the field with some energy, because like Ryan was saying, they're just gassed right now. And luckily the pass is incomplete, which will bring Southlake to a 4th and 9 as they look to punt here with Sterling Deary back in the 10-yard line of Flower Mound territory, looking to receive the ball here.
That is a booming punt downfield.
A beautiful punt by Cole Ramage as he pins the Jaguars up in their own 5-yard line. That was a fantastic job right there by number 88 of Southlake. And the Jaguars now have a lot of work to drive down the field and get any points at all.
And that's a bad position to be in for the Jaguars, but that was a fantastic punt. As a punter, that's what you want to do, is pin the opposing team's offense as far back into the end zone as possible. And the Jaguars are right now playing out of on their own 5.
So once again, we're out here wondering, what can this Jaguar offense do to show some signs of being able to push down and rebound? That's been the big question, is how can they rebound and what will they do? As Afeni takes a handoff up the middle for a gain of about 3 yards here, so it will be 2nd and 7 for the Flower Mound Jaguars with just under 11 minutes left to play in this 4th quarter. As Averett looks over to the sidelines to relay the calls to his offensive line. We have 2 receivers to the left and 2 to the right here, with 1 tailback with Averett. And we have the snap. We have a receiver in motion, that's Jack Miller, 14, and the ball is handed off to number 32, Afeni Uzuihe, as he is pushed out of bounds around the 8-yard line for no gain, and it will be 3rd and 7 for your Jaguars. Once again, and we keep saying it over and over, but this is a crucial play for Flower Mound. They need to find some way to get some momentum and to keep pressing and find a way to just fight against this Southlake defense right now, because Southlake is just having its way with Flower Mound's offense, so they need to find something that they can do right here.
And this Flower Mound defense is getting gassed as they're on the field a lot longer than the Flower Mound offense. Flower Mound's pass is out of bounds, bringing up 4th and down and 7.
As Averett's pass was intended for receiver number 3, Will Huber, but the pass just was over his head and out of bounds, so the Jags will be forced to punt on their own 8-yard line. And it's looking like Southlake will have very good field position here, as we have Josh Grant back to punt for the Jaguars, and RJ Mickens to return. And the ball is booted, and it is received by Mickens right around the 40, and he is pushed out of bounds around the 38. And once again, it is still 42-7 Southlake with just around 10 minutes left to play in this ball game.
And they are going to actually mark it right there on the 36, the Jaguar 36.
And there is a flag on the field after the play was over. And we will see what the officials have to say here. And we are waiting the call right now from the officials. And it looks to be a holding against Southlake. And it is a holding against Southlake.
And that gives a little bit more room for the defense. I have a little bit more room to work for.
Still good field position here for the Dragons, but for this Flower Mound defense, we will take anything right now as Southlake looks to work from their own 47-yard line, so right around midfield. And the Southlake offense is now jogging out onto the field, led by sophomore quarterback Will Bowers, as he looks to lead the team next year with Mason Holmes leaving next year since he is a senior. So some good experience here for the young quarterback here late in the ball game as he takes the quarterback draw, and he is displaying some speed, but he is met up and he is tackled by number 44 Connor Lee. And like you were saying, Ryan, I'm surprised we haven't heard his name a lot tonight. It's just it seems that our defense has just kind of been dead this second half.
The Southlake offense has been really good about taking Connor Lee out of the play.
As the second down handoff is given to number 27, Trey Sledge for Southlake. And he is wrapped up right around the line of scrimmage, which will take us to 3rd and 3 for the Dragons. A big stop is needed here for the Jaguar defense if they want to get a break and have their offense try to figure out something. And it is a handoff to number 33 for the Dragons. That is Tavian Gold. And Gold will be brought up short of the first down, which will mark 4th and 1 for the Southlake Dragons. And we have Cole Ramage back to punt now for Southlake. And Sterling Deary, number 28, back to return. And the punt is off, and it is high. And it will be fair caught by Sterling Deary right around the 17 or 18-yard line. Looks to be spotted at the 18-yard line for the Jags here as they will take over on downs. And they will start off with first down in their own 18. And I feel like most of the possessions tonight for the Jags have started off deep in their own territory. So it's been kind of hard for them to find any momentum since they've always been pinned up deep in their own territory.
The Jaguars have been trying to establish the run early, and Southlake's run defense has just been hammering and hammering away. We've had a couple bursts of big runs, but most of our runs have just been 2-3 yards, and Southlake's defense is just holding our running game to a bare minimum.
And other than the screen pass to Afani Uzuihe for the 66-yard touchdown, we really haven't seen Flower Mound in Southlake territory much at all this game, as Jackson Averett fakes the handoff and he keeps it for himself and picks up around 9 yards here, 8 or 9 yards here. So it'll be 8 yards, second down and 2 on the Jaguar 26. And we are approaching 8 minutes in this game. And Jackson Averett sends Ryan Johnson, number 2, in motion, and he receives the jet sweep. But Ryan is wrapped up for a loss of 1 yard, and it will be 3rd and 3 for the Jaguars, and the ball will be on the 25-yard line.
And this game was 14-7 with 26 seconds left before the half, and before Southlake scored, making it 21-7. But Southlake was 3 for 3 before that last drive, and now Southlake has just taken over in the second half, and they lead 42-7 with 7:38 left to play.
And Jackson Averett takes the snap for himself, and he finds a hole, and he smashes through a defender to go out of bounds, and he picks up the first down on his own. We like the aggressiveness from the young quarterback, although it may be a little too late now, but we'll still take good signs, anything that we can take at this point. And that is a pickup of 5, which will be good enough for another Flower Mound first down. And hopefully we can continue pushing through this drive and pick up some more first downs along the way as we look to drive into Southlake territory. And the handoff is given to Josh Vieira, who is able to find some good yardage right here on this carry. Number 36 for the Jaguars. He is a senior this year, the backup running back. So we'll look to see some of the backups getting some action here and trying to get some experience. But it's good to see some fresh legs out here and some guys getting some experience. So we'll see how we look here. And another handoff to Josh Vieira, number 36.
It's good for about 2 yards.
Which will bring up 2nd and 8 for the Jaguars. And they are coming close to midfield as they are right around the 48-yard line. This is something we haven't seen too much of tonight, is pushing and really just getting near Southlake territory. So this will be a breath of fresh air tonight. But we look to see what Jackson has here as he takes the snap, and it is another handoff to Josh Vieira, but he is brought down right away by number 42 for the Southlake Dragons, senior linebacker Michael Larkin. And it is now 3rd and 8 for the Jaguars, as that was good for a gain of 0. So Josh made it right back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it, as before he was wrapped up. And Averett is relaying his information to his O-line right now as he backs up to take the snap here. Vieira in motion. He heads out for trips on the right side now. And Averett with the snap. And he throws his pass, but it falls incomplete, intended for Jake Welch, number 18. Jake Welch is only a sophomore this year, and he's looking to be an aspiring young talent to this team, so we look forward to having some of these younger guys such as Jake Welch, and then we also have Scott Devitt, the other sophomore on this team.
A lot of youth on this team. The future for Jaguar football does look bright.
It's exciting to see these younger guys get in so they do get some experience even late in the ball game, because as you were saying, Ryan, this is the future of Flower Mound football, and really just giving these guys some experience will do them justice. And while it may not play out as the way we want to in this game, it may prove them some veteran skills for heading into later in the season and following years. So it's good to see these guys get out and get some action right now.
That's definitely, experience is valuable. You can't get enough experience. Even when you're down 35 points late in the fourth quarter, it's still good to have good experience. And in situations like this, the best thing to do is play hard and keep giving that unbelievable effort no matter what. Even though you're down, you should still give unbelievable effort. You don't want to be defeated.
Exactly. You always have to keep playing to the final whistle and give 110% every single down, and I really feel like that's what our players are doing right now. So you love to see those guys playing and giving full effort and playing their hearts out right now. We love it. So just got to keep your heads up and keep fighting at all costs. So we love watching these young athletes out here and really grinding and giving it everything they have. As it is now 2nd down and 8 for the Southlake Carroll Dragons with just under 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter here. And the ball is handed off to Trey Sledge, number 27 for the Southlake Carroll Dragons, as he picks up about 2 yards here. So the Dragons will be faced with 3rd and 6 here. So another big stop here for the Jags as they look to get the ball back to their offense here. with two tailbacks in the backfield here for Southlake, and one receiver on each side. We'll see what Southlake has, and it is a quarterback run, and he is tackled, but it looks like he did pick up the first down, so they will move the chains, and it will be a first down for the Dragons. Will Bowers on the carry here. Haven't seen Will throwing the ball too much out here, but he has been using his legs and displaying his speed, so that is something you want to keep track of and watch.
He definitely likes to run the ball, and he's definitely killing the clock because we have 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in this ball game. Jaguars down 42-7 as Southlake tries to run the ball, but is met by a couple Jaguars, and a game for about 1 or 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, number 27, that is Trey Sledge, who is the backup running back behind Audric Gaines. And Trey is also a senior running back, so we have two veterans for the Southlake offense behind the ball carrying it, which can be very effective and can be intimidating to most teams, knowing that they do have that much experience in the backfield. And we have number 19, that is Clayton Webb, who is a junior, and it looks like the third string quarterback for the Dragons is out getting some experience here. And he runs for about 1 yard and is brought down, which will bring us to 2nd and 9. The score still at 42 Southlake Carroll, 7 Flower Mound.
The Southlake Carroll Dragons had a 21-point third quarter to just blow up this score. It was 21-7 going into half. So the Jaguars were playing really well. It was 7-14, 26 seconds before the half, and Southlake Carroll ran it in to up the score to 21-7 going into half. The Jaguars were in it in the first half, but Southlake took over in the second half and just started rolling.
Yeah, the first half for sure, it was, as we keep mentioning, the scoreboard really doesn't do it justice to tell you how close and competitive of a game this was until the third quarter, when Southlake did manage to score 3 times. So it really just goes to show that Southlake came out ready to play the second half, and Flower Mound just seemed to come up a little bit short-handed here. But we have Trey Sledge with the ball carrier here, and he runs the ball for about 4 yards as Southlake now faces 4th and 18 with 2:22 left to play in the fourth quarter.
Southlake is just running the clock out with 2:22 left in the game, like we just said. Southlake punts it deep, and we call a fair catch right on the Jaguar 41-yard line. Gives the Jaguars decent field position. Let's see if they can get a touchdown in to soften up the score a little bit.
And the punt was caught by number 28, Sterling Deary, who received that punt. And there will be 2:15 left to play in this ball game. And it looks like number 12, Landon Sadler, the backup quarterback, is going to get some action here. So we'll see what Landon has, as he is a senior this year, playing behind junior quarterback number 4, Jackson Averett, as he hands the ball off to number 38, that is Josh Vieira. Josh has had some pretty decent runs right here in this the later part of this fourth quarter, so it's good to see him getting some productivity out there. And with Josh Waters and Landon Sadler in the backfield, we have the snap. Landon rolls out of the pocket, and he throws intended for number 80. And that is Nathan Yu, the senior wide receiver.
And we had a pass interference call on the defense. Give a little bit of a momentum swing late in this game to soften up the score. Jaguars are trying to put another score on. But the score does not reflect the game, as the Jaguars were down 14-7 with 26 seconds left in the first half. And then before Southlake scored right before half, and then Southlake opened it up with 3 back-to-back scores.
And Landon is back in the shotgun right now as he throws off balance off his back foot, intended for Nathan Yu again. Nathan is number 80, and once again, he is a senior receiver for the Jaguars. And it is 2nd and 10 right now. Landon receiving the information from the coach right now, seeing what play call he has in store. And the snap. Landon rolls out of the pocket. And he pump fakes, and he decides to keep it, and he runs out of bounds for a gain of 1 yard. So the Jags will now have 4th and what looks to be about 10 yards here.
And it's actually still 3rd down, as we had the pass interference penalty a few plays ago.
So 3rd and 10 here for the Jaguars. And we'll see what Landon can do here for the Jaguars, as we have about a minute and 30 seconds just over left in this game. Landon takes the snap, and he throws, but to no prevail. It looked like the intended receiver, number 31, Matthew Jesko, tripped up a little bit. So now the special teams will head out to the field. And number 46 for the Jaguars, Clayton Stewart, the backup punter, who is a junior this year, will punt with, once again, number 24, R.J. Mickens, the freshman for Southlake, to receive. And Clayton with a booming punt pins Southlake up at their 1 yard line. Correction, the 2 yard line right there. That was a booming punt by Clayton. That was a great job of pinning them up against their own field position. So it's good to see that young talent out there putting in work.
Nice to find some positives, despite the Jaguars down 35 with a minute 21 left in this game. Next week, the Jaguars hit on the road and go face district opponent Byron Nelson at Byron Nelson.
And the game will be played at Northwest ISD Stadium. And once again, that will be next Friday at 7:30 p.m. as they look to play their 2nd district game and bounce back from a Week 1 loss. But still, lots of time, lots of games left, and a lot of season left for the Jaguars to rebound, learn from their mistakes, and really just continue to move forward at this point. You just have to take it one game at a time and just really work and learn from what has happened this game.
Well, Southlake's trying to run the clock out, and they managed to gain 1 yard on that carry. A lot of the defensive starters are currently on the sidelines, and a lot of the backups getting some valuable playing time late in this ball game.
As we have 45 seconds and counting left in this game. Looks to be maybe one more play left in this game here, ladies and gentlemen. So we will see what Southlake does. And it is a handoff to number 33 for Southlake. And that is Tavian Gold, the junior running back for Southlake.
And
as that looks to be the last and final play of the ball game tonight.
And Southlake Carroll is going to move to 3-1 on the season. And the Jaguars are going to fall to 1-3 on the season, as they will go on the road to Byron Nelson next week.
And the Jags start off 0-1 in district, and Southlake 1-0. And the final score here tonight, Southlake Carroll 42, Flower Mound 7.
And this game was really close. The first half, both teams played really well. First half, excuse me. And from that, Southlake Carroll managed to score a touchdown right before half to go in 21-7. And then in that third quarter, Southlake Carroll had 3 back-to-back-to-back scores. And, just open up 21-0 in that third quarter, blow it up 42-7. And the Jaguars had 4 turnovers, which ended up being crucial. One was a pick 6, and one was a fumble that gave Southlake Carroll ideal field position on the Jaguar 38.
A lot for the Jags to take from this first half tonight. Obviously, the second half wasn't exactly all that we had hoped for, but a lot of good signs from this Jaguar team this year in the first half as they really competed against Southlake tonight and played unlike many people thought that they would. They really hung in there, as Ryan was saying, and they did show some good signs, and I feel that's something to not be overlooked. So heading into next week, just really looking at what they did right and what they did well this game and trying to carry that over into next week as they play Byron Nelson. And once again, that is next Friday, September 30th at 7:30 p.m., and they will be playing at Northwest ISD Stadium.
And with that being said, you've been listening to the Flower Mound Sports Network on Friday Night Glory. I'm Ryan Bascue.
And I'm Jake Kelley. And thank you for tuning in with us tonight.
And we'll see you next week.